What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I am Joel Friday. Welcome to the show. Few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smack down, the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Punchy.tv. And at any point during the show, guess what you can do? You can call in at 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and we could talk about whatever you want. Topics at hand, the men, the women, the Jews, the blacks, the whatever. We can get into it. I'm here for it. Also, if for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. Just type it in your browser, or just click the link that's in the YouTube description. So you can do that, or you can go directly to the YouTube live chat, which is going right now, and hit the super chat button. And there you can send your question or comments, and I'll read them live on air and as they come in. We went on a super chat spree yesterday, right at the beginning of the show. Super chat. And I was reading them as they came in. I was so proud. So I will read them the best that I can as they come in. And as they pertain to the topics at hand. Amazing stuff. What are we getting into today? I got some callers on the line. Callers, be patient. I will get to you. Let me just do a little work first. Let me just cook a little bit. Let me cook first. And I will get to you. I appreciate you guys getting in there early because, Lord, y'all be calling last minute and you know I only got an hour. So I appreciate you guys calling in. Amazing stuff. I want to talk about the rulers of the ego. I got some stuff I want to share with you guys. I got some clips to show you guys. Some headlines. Listen. This is very, how would you say? I think it's insightful on just how the ego operates. And I realized that I've observed this in behaviors I've seen in myself, but also like the approach most men take in the world when it comes to just all kinds of different things, but dating specifically. And what I realized, there are two realities. And one is men who are led by God, right? And men who are masters of the ego. And I want to explain those. So the men who are led by God recognize that there is a different reality that lives within, a different life source, right? Which is the spirit within, our true nature. And in that life source, it has its own energy. Right? It has its own, like, quote unquote emotion. And it's not emotion, but its own energy. So joy, peace, love, right? Those things. It's its own reality. To where it's void of emotional stuff like excitement and happiness that comes and goes. And anger is void of all those things, right? It's only positive. It's the light. But that reality is hidden from those who aren't led by God, right? Who are walking in the light. But it's a different reality. And it's harder to get to, harder to operate out of, right? But it's an entirely different reality. Now there's the men who, and this goes for men and women. When I say men, I mean mankind. And there's the men who master the ego, right? That they live the life of the ego. And typically, for the most part, these people who live the life of the ego don't realize or understand that there's another reality that exists, right? God's reality. They don't know that there's another world. So what happens with people who operate out of the ego is they learn how all the tricks to like manipulate the ego to work in their benefit, right? They know how to use these emotions to benefit them, right? They know how to cheat the system in order to allow their ego to please them. But in reality, the ego is controlling them, right? But they know how to use it to their benefit, right? And I realize that when it comes to dating, Lord, when it comes to dating, you gonna ego. Oh, you gonna ego. And to all the alpha males that be thinking that's not the truth, the reality, it's the reality. You gonna ego when you dating, right? And but there's a proper way to go about this, right? There's a proper way. And we talk about there's a proper way and a wrong way. We talked about this before on previous episodes. There's a proper way to go about these things. Doesn't mean they're necessarily wrong, but there's a proper way to go about dating and your little emotions and feelings that pop up, right? Well, I have some clips I want to play from an interview by Myron Martin. He's like a dating expert, right? And he interviews Dan Bilzerian. I don't know if you know who Dan Bilzerian is, but he's like probably like the woman god. Like like he is like the Hugh Hefner of today, pretty much. And he's always on Instagram with like doing like these bucket list things with a bunch of women and like all these like he calls it pleasure spikes, right? The dream life. And he's doing all these things. Chris says Joel's competitor. No, Chris. Not true. But he does all these things, right? He gets all these girls and knows how to do it. Well, anyway, Dan Bilzerian is that guy. And he's interviewed by Myron Martin, which has a podcast called Fresh and Fit. And this is from his YouTube channel. And they talk about dating and landing women. But the first thing I want to play, I want to properly introduce this clip. And this is where they talk about dealing with fear and rejection in dating when it comes to men approaching women. Let's get into that.
Would you say anxiety and fear of rejection is like most guys' biggest issue when it comes to talking to women?
Yeah, I think it's a big problem. And I think when you go in and, take more of an indirect approach where you're not over communicating interest, you don't set yourself up for rejection, right? Like if you go in and tell a girl how beautiful she is, or you ask her out on a date, or you ask her for a number, it's kind of like a binary response. She either has to accept or reject. And usually women's default setting is to reject. So I think that,
even if they like you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, they're just used to it. And then they expect the guy to chase, and then eventually they'll, whatever, but they keep the guy chasing. And that's what these books, like The Rules and all these, books that these women have, it teaches them to do is to keep the guy chasing. And that just puts them in a massive position of power because their flaws disappear and that guy's flaws magnify. And I just don't want to see guys in that position because it's unnecessary. Like you can go in, you can open the interaction, you can start talking to a girl without letting her know. Like it's like playing poker. These guys just like want to flip their cards over. It's like a lot harder to win in poker when everybody can see your cards.
Two quick points I want to make about that. These men are the epitome of what men shouldn't strive to be. So listen, 2 points I want to make about that. And this is what I realized in my own life, right? Is that when the anxiety or fear comes up to go approach somebody, like approach a man or a woman or whatever the case is that there's a reason why that's there, right? And oftentimes, I won't say every single time, 99% of the time, that fear and anxiety is because you're acting out of order in the first place. You're not in order. meaning like that it's not proper for you to do. Because if it was the right thing for you to do, you wouldn't be blocked by fear or anxiety. You wouldn't have that. If it was the right thing to do in the right opportunity, in the right moment to approach somebody or whatever it may be, you would know what to say and how to go about it. You wouldn't have fear and anxiety. If you have fear and anxiety, then that means that something's wrong here. It doesn't mean that, and a lot of the times these dating experts teach that, oh, if you have fear and anxiety, that means you're a little simp, you a punk, you scary, you a little girl. And it's not that. And I understand why they can think that, but it's not that. What it is that you ain't supposed to be out there acting up. And the second thing is when he said that the guys go and reveal their cards and they go approach these women and they give them all these compliments and they say too much. And that's true. That part is true because for one, you're already going up to her and letting her know that you're desperate. You're telling her that you're desperate by doing all that. And there's a proper way to go about this stuff. We'll get to that. But you're telling her that you're desperate. You're telling her that I want you so bad. And guess what? Even though you don't even say thank you to my compliment, or even though you play hard to get, guess what? I'm still chasing you because I want the prize. Yeah. The lady out the gate is already looking down on you. And she shouldn't. And that's a whole nother thing. But she is. So you overcame this anxiety that you should approach, and now you approach her with all these compliments because you don't want to ruin it. And I've been there. But I realized that you're going into her world and you're playing by her rules, and she dominates, and you guys both don't win because she can't help you. So that was that about anxiety and rejection. If you feeling that, it's probably because 99% of the time you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. If it was from God, you would have the understanding to do it and how to do it. So that's that. Clip number 2 here. And then we'll finish out the message on this. I don't want to spend too much time on breaking this stuff down because we get the point. But clip number 2 is this is where it really explains like the intent of these dating experts, right? And what they're really doing, what the agenda really is, right? It explains it, and I'm gonna explain it more. So this is where the two guys, Myron and Dan, give tips on what you need to do to land a hot chick, a hottie, a smoke show. Here we go.
So a hot girl sees a guy pursuing her, and automatically, like anybody pursuing you, anybody that's working hard to get your, attention or respect or whatever, is by default beneath you, especially with hot girls. Because like the hotter the girl, the more that are pursuing her. And when you've got 10 options...
And they're ruthless too.
Yeah, when you got 10 options...
You can't make as many mistakes with a hot chick as you could with like a mid or an ugly girl. Like you make one stupid mistake with a hot girl and you're done.
Yeah, because like think of a dating show. If you have 10, 20 options, like you're not going to go for the first one. You're going to sit back and be like, okay, I know I can have all 20 of these. Which one do I want? And that's usually the position that a hot girl's in.
So if you really think about what they're saying, and I don't know these guys, and so I don't know their lifestyle, what they're really into, but we're going based off of what I see here, is that if you really think about what's happening here, is that what these data experts do is they figure out a way to learn the woman so well so they can dominate. And they study. Now, this is not even a game because they talk about this in the interview. They study other pickup artists, I guess, and that's what they call them, I guess. And they read books on the rules of women. They study these rules of women. Why? Because they want to dominate. They want to get them. They want to have that, right? But they think that when they get them and they reach this level of having these women, that means that they're the dominant. Like they've overcome women, that they're on top, and that women are subject to them. But the real trick, the real setup here is that no, you're just better at being a woman than them now. That's really what it is. You're just the king of being a queen. That's all it is. All you're doing now is dominating her in her world. Right? They're still controlling the man in that place, because even though he's dominating, he's doing everything possible to give her what she wants and what she likes and what she's into, so that she can continue to praise him, but yet he's praising her. So she's still God. She's still God. And then some people will say, well, Joel, what about you? What about when you talk about the ladies all the time on your show and how to deal with dating and all that stuff and all that stuff? Aren't you doing the same thing? Ha ha. Aha. Now, I've been in wondering about these things and learning things and all that stuff. I've been there. But with the difference that what I'm doing is I'm making sense of how to properly go about these things. And I'm not saying I'm better than these other guys who are doing this way. I'm just saying that I found that when trying to do those little things that they were saying, it revealed a neediness and a desperate mentality. And that these women are just too important, and the order is not right. I seen that. And then I started to realize that there's a proper way. I started to see that there's a proper way to go about it, to where the right situations come about. Right? And it's genuine and it's in order. That's what's most important. It's in order. But it also is still ego, right? It's also still ego that's there, right? The ego's still there. The emotions are still there. But it's different because the vehicle is like how do I put it? The vehicle is still love. So there's a proper way to navigate through the ego, right? But the vehicle, Lord, this sounds so hippie. The vehicle is still love, though. In the bigger picture, in the grand scheme of things, the direction is still love. And that's the big difference. And a lot of the time, most of the time, guys don't know that. So they think that they're being dominant and strong and tough, but they're not operating out of love. They're just operating at the same nature that the woman is operating out of. And what she needs from you is to help her get out of that nature into the light. Because that nature she's in is just all games. It's all rules. It's all who's dominant, who likes who more, it's all those like tricky things. So yes, those feelings are gonna still be there. Yes, they're gonna come up. But you could still lead and be a man if you do it the proper way, which is not chasing the women, not approaching them just because they're attractive, not being desperate. It'll be added on to you, and when it's added on to you, it's because the woman sees the light in you. You don't see the ego in her because she's attractive and beautiful and hot and sexy. No. She sees the light in you, And it's in a woman to recognize a real man. They all know a real man from the fake one. They all know. And they all can see the light on a real man. They're built to be able to recognize this so they can go into his world. So they can go into his world. They're built that way. So when it's added, she'll see that in you, and she just makes the move. She's just attracted to you. She wants to be a part of it. And she drops her ego for the most part to do that, right? Because she just wants to be around you. She's just attracted. She's drawn to the light. That's the word I was looking for. She's drawn to the light. And she can't help but drop her ego and forget all that low dominant stuff. Law. She can't help but drop all that low dominance games and all that stuff because she's just drawn in by the light that she sees in you. And when that's the case, different approach, different connection. The order is proper. Joel, mommy, so I can ban. So I'm telling you, y'all, there's a different way to go about this stuff. And I know, and it's okay to want to get married. It's okay to want to have children. Obviously, you don't make that number one priority is that you overcome, right? And you're led by God. That's priority. But there's nothing wrong with wanting to be married and all that stuff because, yeah, it's still of those feelings, like I said, but God had created a proper way to go about these things, marriage. So you can have babies, you can have a family. Break the curses. Start a new generation, right? That's okay if that happens naturally, if it happens on its own, if you're not chasing that. If you're putting what's first, what is right first, putting God first. But most men do not, and women do not even know that there's another side of dating. There's another side of marriage. They only know the ego side. And that's why divorce, and that's why all this stuff be happening. Because they're not operating in the proper way. So I had to explain that. I had to get that one out. And I wish these little dating guys well, but they know too. They know that this is, they know that it's all ego. They know. They just don't know any other way around it. And a lot of these guys are so attached and addicted to it that it's hard to be better or change or stop. I understand. So you still wish them well and you don't hate on them, but they just can't see, blind and can't see. Amazing stuff. Let me go to some calls about this, and then I have something else I want to get to. Let's get to some calls about it, and then I'll get to your super chats as well. Let me go to the first time caller, Austin, out of Virginia. Austin, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, Joel? How you doing?
How's it going, Austin?
I'm hanging out, man. I'm smoking a cigar. It's a beautiful day.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I didn't really have a question at first, but I wanted to share something that I've been sort of like working through. And it's like, I'm wondering how you relate to it just based on the subject matter you were speaking on just now. I'm wondering, like, do you observe a relationship between, like, a person's physical beauty and their, like, spiritual beauty? You know what I'm saying?
Say that one more time.
So it's like, when you see a beautiful person, like, do you feel like there's, like, a relation to their physical beauty and that of, like, their spiritual, like, I don't want to say purity
Yeah.
necessarily, because we're all wicked, you know, but like that spiritual beauty, you know what I'm saying?
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure, but one thing I do know is that when there's like a desire to want from that, whether it be to like want something from or want to have them or whatever the case is, it's usually just a lustful desire, because I've learned that when it's real and when it's proper, the desire to do all the, the X-rated stuff is not on the table. That's not a thought.
Right.
So typically when we do see somebody that's attractive that we see, it's mostly because we're attracted to them in a lustful way. And that's not necessarily demonic, but there's an agenda there. It's not like you know what I mean, if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I feel you to some level. Part of why I ask is I feel like, I mean, it's very, very nice to see like beauty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like whether or not it's in a painting, you know, or like some other work of art, or like just in the way a person carries themselves. Like,
yeah,
I feel like, because, you know, I see like, I don't know, man, like I see probably as many beautiful women as the next guy, right? Like,
right.
But when I see a beautiful woman, like, I don't really, I'm not looking at her like I'm trying to do something, you know, like I can look at her and be like, hey, all right, like beautiful woman, right? Like, so I don't know. It's something I'm working through on my own, I guess.
I see what you're saying now, though. I think I'm understanding more what you mean. I do think that there's like, and it's not even just what you see in the opposite sex. It just can be in anything, right? Is that you do see like a pleasant or like a certain energy that this person has that is like pleasant or attractive, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's sexual or that it's like in this negative way. It can just be like, oh, okay, there's something about that person that is like I'm attracted to, or just naturally beautiful, and you can recognize that, and it doesn't have to be sexual or whatever.
Right, and I feel like that's seeing the light through another person, you know?
Yeah, no, that's very possible, and that's very possible. I agree.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, I appreciate you taking the time to share how you feel. That like dating advice stuff, that's like a pitfall, you know? Like I used to care about that, and then I like woke up, and it's all right. It's like I feel like guys got to go through it, you know?
Oh, okay. And when you say that, like you wake up now, what do you mean? Like you don't date anymore?
Yeah, I got a woman I love very much.
Oh, okay.
And, it's like, but the love is like, you know, I do the whole like I listen to those Sunday services like all day long, pretty much. Like while I'm working and taking care of stuff, and part of that like forgiving my parents and coming to God and like finding the inner teacher, like all that other stuff is just like sort of falling by the wayside in seeking first the kingdom, you know? Yeah. So I don't know, like I know a lot of guys, like especially I go to like a Bible study, you know, and a lot of the guys there, like you get them talking, pretty soon they want to talk about like what girl they like, and I feel like to some level that's natural, but
I see. So what part are you? Yeah. So what part are you over? Because are you married or just your girlfriend?
She's a girlfriend.
Oh, okay. So what part of it are you over? Because in relationships too, there's still that like, obviously that ego desire, and it can be done in a proper way, but there's still that ego desire to like, you know, want to get to know each other and take it to the next level, blah, blah, blah. What part exactly do you mean that you are over?
Well, I know that the way that I feel is not a reaction to like what she's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Like the love that I have is like, it's like love from God. And
okay,
her and I, like, it's like, you ever have a relationship where like you let it go, and then like when you truly let it go, like in your heart, it comes right back, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like kind of the thing, and it's been like that for a couple of years. So I'm just like allowing it to be what it is, and not really worrying about anything about it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, no stress about it, and it's just letting it work itself out and be what it is. Yeah, that's always the best way to go about it. I agree.
Yeah, and it's like God's timing is perfect. Like one thing, because like in my own personal life, I used to consider myself to be like very ambitious. Like I wanted like tons of money and all that stuff, but like I let all that go. I thought it was just my ego, and it's crazy because like, by letting it go, it's like everything that I asked for is just being given to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I had to let go of the idea that I wanted it. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. What do you mean is that? Oh, the idea is that you should chase it. You should go get it.
Yeah, that like it was a part of me too. That like when I had it, it was like some reflection of who I am.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Because I see now I'm my soul. Like I'm not even my name.
Right. Well, right on, Austin. Good points. I appreciate you calling. How'd you hear about my show? You watched JLP?
Yeah, I watched JLP. I called into the Hake Report a couple times. I still ain't called Jesse yet. I'm trying to get on the horn with him, but he's early in the morning, and I'm not usually awake that early. So.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, right on.
I really appreciate it, man.
Well, right on, man. Call me again.
Yes, sir. I will.
All right, sounds good. Nice. Let me move the calls. Let's go to the expert himself. The one and only, the king of vetting ladies, the the one and only Serge from Texas. What's going on, Serge? Welcome to the show.
All is well, man. How are you?
All is well.
Yo, I noticed, Joel, that men gotta do the right. They gotta do the right things, and when I say that, I'm not exempting myself. So when I say men are weak all the time, and I put myself in that category because, like, even with Austin, right? Just tell the woman straight up, man, and it's the hardest thing in the world to do, right? Because I'm out here, as the Christians will say, sinning,
Right.
Right. Y'all gonna judge me, but I hope to be an example through my poor actions with what I'm about to say. But I just had me a nice little baddie Russian, and I asked her if she wanted to like genuinely, like, I'm like, you've been observing me through social media and snaps. Do you like that lifestyle? And she was like, oh nah, I just wanna play. And I was just like, oh yeah, that means I can't play. Even though I already did it, I still was just like, all right, listen, if you're not trying to, then let me just move on. But it's hard because you want that, and we're weak for it. At least I am. All right, I can't speak for anybody else. But we got to get to the stage to where we're not in that boyfriend and girlfriend stage, and we just do the right thing. If we want the woman, just do what's right.
So, if I can make sense of it in the most appropriate way as possible, because it's daytime, I'll just say it like this: is if those things happen, let's just say, like, we get involved, we make some mistakes. People are human. People do things. People have weaknesses. People have blah 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 blah. You get lost in your head. If those things happen, for one, obviously we shouldn't judge them, and obviously. We have to understand that we're learning. There's things that we don't know, and there's things that we don't know how to prevent. And we have these urges that come up sometimes. And these things are going to happen, but we just stay aware of it, and we learn through it, and then God will do the rest. So if that's happening, then I don't see it as a big deal. Just know that it's going on. And this is the behavior that's being displayed, and just learn from it, type of thing.
That's exactly how I look at it.
Yeah.
I totally agree, 100%. Yo, so CG, I guess you must have read my chat yesterday. I wasn't
Well,
here.
we can't do the respond to chatters because other channels don't know what we're talking about.
Did you did you read the chat yesterday? The super?
Oh, the super, the yo mama, yo. You said 20 donuts. I shouted you out. No, I did. I read it yesterday. You didn't even. You weren't even watch it. What the?
I was playing ball with the black.
Oh,
Yo,
okay.
Joel.
I got you.
I'm glad. You see, when you give, I gave that. What was that? 60, 80 bucks. I gave that and then made $300. The blacks wanted to shoot out.
Nice. No, I appreciate
wait, I
it.
shouldn't have said that. Zenny might be judging me. I was gambling.
No, I shouted you out. On the show. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for sending that.
Thank you.
And your mama too. What the hell, your daddy?
Hey, last time you said my sister too. I was like, what's she got to do with this? Talk about my mom and my daddy, but what my sister? She hit a soft spot. I was like, beta.
No, I'm playing. But you had you said is the devil? You have something here about is the devil attacking me? Was that?
Yeah,
did that
I
have
wanted
to do?
to ask you. Yeah, I wanted to just let you speak on this one and just say, is the devil attacking me, and see how you respond to that.
Is the devil attacking you?
Yeah.
In regards to the situation we just talked about, or what?
No. Like personally, you can take it from me and just say, is the devil attacking you? Do you think it's a personal thing with you?
Is the devil personally attacking me?
Yeah.
At all times. He's attacking everybody at all times. Sometimes it seems like, well, I don't think he ever takes a break, but I think sometimes he goes a little bit harder on certain times. He loves to really get in there when things are going really well and things are going good for you, or something that's happening, like you receive something, and right when you see it as a blessing or you're grateful for it, that's when Satan has to go in there and change your mind about it. So he's definitely on attack at all times.
Tell me if I'm wrong about this. I just think that I think he's got a vendetta with God, and I think that he knows that God is in the humans, so it's not even personal with you. He just hates God because there's no you for him to attack.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That would just hate God. This ain't even our battle. And once I realized that, like it came to my mind, I was just like, what do I got to be mad about? I'm gonna just live.
That's a good point, Serge. That's a good point. He just hates God and he just wants to destroy whatever God represents. So you're 100%, man. I appreciate that. I got to move the calls here, and thanks for the super chat. The coffees.
Welcome.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
All right.
Later.
Nice. Caller, give me a quick second. You can get in 888-775-3773. I want to bring up this other thing really quick. Because I thought it was interesting. A little quick point. Nothing crazy, but I want to get this point out because it's just a little headline that I came across that I wanted to talk about. So callers, I will get back to you in a second here, and the super chats I will get to you as well. Let me see. So I was on Instagram, and according to TikTok, there is, and this is Valuetainment on Instagram. Valuetainment says 14 states sued TikTok. What the? 14 states sued TikTok over youth addiction, right? And I was thinking, like, how are the states going to sue TikTok over youth addiction when the parents are responsible for the youth? They don't got to be on there. And as you can see my little comment at the bottom. I said, sue the parents. You see my little comment? How are these states going to sue TikTok over youth addiction? It ain't TikTok's fault. Now, TikTok may have a negative influence, let's just say, but the parents ain't control. Why are the parents not controlling the children? Why are the children reaching out for TikTok for some validation? And these are the things that are the issues. That's why I always say, like, what about the parents though? Bring it back to the parents. Because the parents are at fault for this. And that's also what the government does too. The government now will make these new things, these new laws, and say, now kids can't go on Instagram. Now you got to put these new laws, or lose money because people want to sue. But that's not smart. That doesn't make sense. Is that you have, and I bet you it's the parents that are complaining. My daughter, my son go on this too much. It's all your fault, TikTok. No. You sue the parents. I just thought this was interesting because this is always kind of the result of handling problems in the world today. Is let's just sue Chick-fil-A. Let's sue McDonald's. Let's sue. Ain't nobody say you got to go to those places. You don't got to go. It ain't your business. Let's sue the strip clubs. Let's not have listen, not your business. Don't live around one. Don't go around one. Don't go to one. But you can't tell other people what they can and can't do with their own business. That's legal. So if your kids up on TikTok dancing and they can't get off, that's because you don't know how to make them do it in the proper way, right? Because you can't that would make the kids really do it. You try to tell them, you better not go on there. I better not catch you. I bet. Then they really sneak and do it. So look in the mirror. Sue that. Anyway. So imagine, my last point, and I'm moving on. Imagine me on TikTok scrolling, not on TikTok, but Instagram, and I'm scrolling, and I'm like, dang, I'm scrolling too much. I need to stop scrolling. And imagine my thought being, you know what, I'm going to sue Instagram for making me scroll so much. What the? Your first thought is like, okay, let me just close the app. Let me delete the app. Let me take a break. Anyway, delusional things. Back to the calls. Let me get away from this. Bow. 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 Okay. Let's go to Kyle out of Massachusetts. Kyle, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How's it going, Joel?
How's it going, Kyle? All is well.
Nothing much. I was going to ask you about not knowing how to be an uncle. Still not 30 yet, and a lot of kids in the family very fast. But I guess it'll make more sense to ask this one because of just the nature of the show. Just like, how would you handle this? Like, so this is what I was talking to a girl, a Dominican girl.
Okay.
And she was like, she came over and then she got really, really into me. And I was just totally neutral about it. And then she started, being like, oh, like, I know that we're not married yet, but what if you had my kids? And I was like, well, whatever. Like, I was just like, whatever. And then she kept texting me like so much. And she was like, I need so much attention. And I was like, honestly, like you're the way that you're acting, I don't want this in my life.
Right.
And I checked her, and she's like, wow, she's like, oh, you checked me on that one. Wow, that's so true that I'm being too much right now. And I'm like, okay. And then she like keeps going. And then she's like, honestly, I wouldn't even, and I kept texting her because I felt bad. And then she's like, oh, she's like, you know what? And then she like texted me like, I wouldn't even, like this isn't like something I would even do anyways. And I'm like, okay. I like 2 times. So do you think like how do you deal, like how, like in your personal day, like how do you deal with like women like that are like, just kind of like nutty and like aggressive and just trying to like get in your head and stuff like that, if that makes sense?
What do I do if that were to happen? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Like,
run away, far away, run. I think that you had it for a second and you were like, you know what, this is too much, and you were straight up with her, and then maybe you got into your head a little bit and felt bad and start texting her. Don't do that, because you're feeding the delusion in her. So
okay.
Yeah, like if she's doing crazy stuff, you know what I mean? If she's saying all this crazy stuff and not stopping and doing too much, drop her. Because she needs to figure that out. It's just messy, and she shouldn't be acting like that. So you don't want to feel bad for her and be too nice with that, because you don't know what she's capable of either. You don't know what she's gonna do and what weird stuff she can do.
Like she could mess my life up.
Right.
Get out of as fast as possible.
Right. She's already, you just cut that off. Just cut that off and then leave it be. And if she keeps texting you all weird, then say, hey, I'm going to block you. Or just block her. You don't even got to say that, because you already told her that you're not interested. If she continues to be weird after you tell her to back off, then just block her, because that's weird. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. No, it definitely makes a lot of sense.
But
I'm trying to be better with
what made you feel bad in that moment, though? I understand that completely. So I'm just trying to understand what made you feel bad and continue
I was into her. Like, I mean, like I've been single for a while now. Like I was like dating at the time. Like she seemed cool. Like she came over, we had a fire and like hung out and whatever. And she was like instantly like super like trying to just like get in like so quickly. And
okay.
So I'm thinking like, oh, I don't want to be like mean about it. I don't want to be like, oh, like block her instantly without like texting her. So I was like, oh, so like that's all I did.
But when you said, because I understand that part, is that you were giving her a chance to see if she was going to continue to be crazy or kind of get it together. I understand that. That's fine. But then when you told her that this is weird, this is too much, and yet she kept doing it, and then you felt bad again. Why did you feel bad at that point?
Yeah, that's definitely I was being soft with that for sure. I texted her. I wasn't being too soft, because at one point I texted her, and this was only a span of like 3 weeks, but still, like I was like attracted to her physically a lot, but I was like, she goes, wow, you checked me. You're right about what you said about me. And so it's like, and then the next time I was like, no, like you're acting like a man. You're acting like a boss. Like I want a woman in my life, not like my boss. You know what I'm saying? I said that to her. Nice. I texted her that, and then I just ended it. Like
Did she understand that? When you said that, did she understand it? And she was like, "Oh, you're right," or
She said have a good life, whatever.
Okay, and did she text you after that more?
No, I blocked her after that.
Oh, okay. Okay, nice.
Yeah, but should I feel bad about that? Did I handle that in a good way, Joe? It is what I'm asking, pretty much.
Well, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it was. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm asking you because I don't know if does it sound like it was too mean. If it I needed to.
I think
say that you're acting like a boss.
I think your instinct kicked in, and you knew what to say in that moment, and you did it. I think that you were right to trust that. And when she said goodbye or whatever she said, and then you had blocked her, I think that's also another sign. It's your instinct saying okay, I don't want to deal with this. I don't think that's bad, but I also don't know the entire situation. But what it sounds like is that you just trusted your instinct, and you just did what you thought you needed to do. But I know sometimes that feeling bad really comes from because your ego doesn't want to lose the fact that maybe because she's pretty, or it could work out if it's stuff like that.
Right.
And that is just lies in the mind. But I think that it seems like you did the right thing.
All right, cool. Yeah. And then can I ask one more thing?
Yeah.
Really quickly?
Yeah, really quick.
So so now I'm an uncle of 5.
Nice.
And I just don't. I love them so much, and I love hanging out with them. But it's I'm kind of the more introverted one in the family, and I'm trying to learn how to be, the uncle. You know what I mean? And it's just how would you? I just think I just want to if you had any advice at all, because it's just so many kids in 3 years, 5 kids. So it's just how do you be when you're still in your 20s? How do you become the uncle? If you had any
like a good uncle, become what? Become a better uncle?
No, oh, it's uncle. Oh, it's the uncle, cool uncle that's there and while you're still young, basically is what I mean. Because I feel as though I should I just don't know. I don't know if I don't know if you have uncle experience.
Yeah. I'm an uncle.
I don't want to not be there for them, and it's just I'm still really young, and it's a lot of kids really fast, and they're having a lot of kids. And
so what's the? I'm just trying to understand what the question is. Are you saying that how you can be there for them as an uncle, or what exactly are you saying? What's the question?
Well, when I growing up, my uncles were older, and I'm still 27, and now there's I have to be an uncle of 5. So and if you don't have any guidance on that, it's fine.
On how to be a better uncle?
Yeah, how to be cool, uncle.
Well, you shouldn't.
While you're still kind of young, you know what I'm saying? It's just.
Well, you don't want to try. You don't want to try to be be cool uncle, because also those are not your kids. So you don't necessarily have to have this major influence on them like that. But if you do want to be involved in stuff like that, and you want to I guess have a relationship with your nieces or nephews, then don't try to. Just let life happen naturally, and those little moments of doing connecting with them or talking to them will come up. But if you try to do it and you try to become a fun uncle, you're gonna overdo it and you're gonna kind of turn them off. You know what I mean? Just be.
Well, that was my thing. Is I'm thinking about waiting till they're much older to give them any advice and stuff like that, because because it's right. It's like it's not my kids. You still want to. It's your family. You want to be around them, but it's not your kids. So you want to like wait till they're older to give them any guidance.
Yeah.
If that
Don't
sense.
even, but don't even have an expectation of giving them advice. Like I don't give my niece advice. I have no desire to give her advice. And if she asks, then cool. But I also don't think of her like, oh, I can't wait to spend time with my niece. Oh, I can't wait. I hope that she grows up to be of course you have that natural, like, hope that she's a good person, but I don't care that much. And when you don't care in that way, you're able to just be what you need to be in the moment. I have fun with my niece when I'm over there, and we have fun, and fun is enough, let's just say. But let's just say Kyle just says to his niece and nephew, how's your day at school? And they say it was so good. And they say, thanks for asking me, Uncle Kyle. Then that's enough. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be advice and stuff.
Yeah, and I talked to them. They were over here. My sister was over here. She's pregnant. She brought my godson and my niece like over here, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like I was outside the whole time, because like I don't, and I just say like, hey, how's it going? Like how was school? Like, or how did you enjoy your birthday? And like, just leave it there. Like don't overthink it. Like it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, you got it.
Is that like a good way to do it?
Yeah, that makes sense. You got it. Just don't try to be anything other than what you are, and it'll change if it needs to change. Just go there and just be present and aware, and then you'll see what to do, and you'll learn what not to do and all that stuff. So you got it, Kyle. I appreciate the calls. I got to end my show, but thanks for calling me, man. Call me again.
Cool. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Yeah, no problem. Bye. Nice. Lord, let me check the super chats real quick. Let me check. Hold up. Interesting calls. I appreciate it. Amazing stuff. So, if there anything that sums up the calls with the message and everything, is you just gotta just let go and be aware, right? Just live life. And that's not always easy because you want to judge, you want to get involved, blah, blah, blah. But whether it be dating, whether it be trying to be a better uncle, whether it be whatever it is just be aware and learn and grow as you go. And stop trying to control things. Stop trying to control, because you only dig yourself in a deeper ditch, right? So just be and live life and be aware. Just live in awareness, and that's all we need to do. The awareness is the light, and the awareness is how we overcome, not by efforts. You'll see when you need to do a specific thing. You'll see when you need to do a specific deed, but you don't got to try to figure that out. So just let go and live life. And have faith, trust God. And all will be well. It always is well. I gotta go, y'all. Listen, I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. And make sure you guys follow me across the board, Joel Friday TV. Instagram, Facebook, the whole thing. Subscribe, share, and like. Check out Punchy TV, another show that I'm on as well that airs Monday at 2 p.m. Make sure you guys check that out. Go subscribe and follow. American Anchor Baby is coming in at 4 p.m. today. You want to make sure you check out his channel. He is also one of the hosts on the network that I'm on, as well. Go check him out. I got to go, y'all. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. Callers, amazing. Super chats, amazing. All that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. Call me again. I gotta go. All right, y'all. Bye.